Hey, what's going on? It's X Files X Radio, and I just watched a video uh, from from Ape Nation Will, and because well, I've already had some thoughts in my head, but it kind of touched, kind of like gave me kind of an epiphany, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I'm putting it out there just in case, you know, um, this whole thing with AMC. I'm just trying to think back to right, like he was talking about when we were like every time we're doing good, something happens. So I'm just gonna take it back to even further. Like when we ran up to $72, $72 a share. All of a sudden, after that, what happened? It shorted us, shorted us, shorted us, shorted us. Then right after that, he sold shares. He let us know, but I think that's in a way to keep our trust. And I don't know, like I can't say what he's doing right now and what's in his head, but this doesn't seem like it's for the people that's got him to this point, the people that he said helped keep him from bankruptcy. It doesn't seem like he's paying us back. And I'm not trying to spread hate because that's not what I'm trying to do. I love to keep this what we build together. But what I want to do is spread awareness. Like, and it came to me what I thought. I was like, wait a minute. I believe he's putting us like he's handcuffing us. You know, and let me explain what I mean. Okay, so here we are. Um, we're doing the best that we can. Trying to do what we can do. We're supporting the company. We're supporting Highcroft. We're supporting Apes. And we're raising money and capital. But like he said, when he did ask us to vote to convert, and we didn't, or not convert, but to raise capital, and we all voted against it because we didn't want to dilute. Yeah, that pissed him off. And not only that, we also denied him his pay raise because we felt like, why are we paying you this much money and you're not doing anything to help the squeeze or to help, keep the neck of shorting from happening or to illuminate what's going on to your stock. And we voted against it. And that pissed him off. So he came up with a plan. Okay, I'm gonna come up with eight. So he came up with eight. But he made it seem like, you know, there's two chances to get paid on two sides now. This is a preferred stock. Um, it's our way of saying thank you for being with the company, and it sounded good and it sounded great. Until they start shorting eight right away, right? Bringing it down to the point where now we're at $5 or something, barely about to hit $6 for AMC, and we're barely about to hit $2 or at $2 as I speak right now for eight for the moment. But that's not going to last. It's going up right now because of the share decision that's supposed to be made on the 31st. So everybody's like, oh, let me buy eight, buy eight in case it runs up. So that's naturally what's happening. But what I was thinking is that why would he want to short squeeze? You know, I believe he's afraid that once we get this money, we're gonna all leave. Take all of our stock out, the stock is gonna plummet, and he's gonna look like a loser for the first time in his life because he's already turned around all of these companies. And this is no better. He doesn't want to like be the this to be his failure. So he, in a way, handcuffing us to the stock, or at least he is, so that he can try to get profitable as much as he can before we actually leave the stock. Because that's what he believes. He thinks everybody's going to leave the stock and it's going to plummet, and then he's going to look like a loser. He's going to be bankrupt, and then for the first time, instead of him turning around the company, he's going to fail the company. You know, and I believe that's his worst nightmare. You know, so instead of doing what's good for the retailers per se, he waited and waited and waited for eight to go down, and went down and went down. Why? Because then it was a more attractive bundle. I'm giving you this, it's 60 cents. It was once $5. I'm giving you this And if you buy a whole bunch and you're on my side, you can make even more money in this whole thing. And there come Terra buying all these stocks, you know, buying so many that they may actually outweigh the amount of stocks that we bought. I don't know what the whole float is because it's so diluted right now, but it's a scary thought. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and I can't speak for everybody, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna see how it plays out. If it runs up, I'm going to take some profits because I'm not going to be holding the bag. But if I get screwed also, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels this way, you're not going to get a chance to get back into profitability. I mean, unless, well, you probably have things lined up with other companies to be able to come in and swoop in and buy the shares. And this is why you're probably trying to decrease the amount of shares that's available to the float. I, it just doesn't seem logical to me, you know? Like you guys have so much at your arsenal. You have a war chest, like you always like to say. Why are you taking the shares from us? I worked hard to get my 8 shares. Once 8 became dropped down low, I started trying to buy as many as I can because for once in my life, I was able to actually try to compete with people, you know? And then you turn around and do this, and now my however many shares I have is going to be cut down to a tenth of it. That's not cool, man. You know, and then especially if you don't have something lined up to combat the short sellers. Now, if you had something lined up, like you said, look, this is my deal. I am going to go ahead and put this offering out here. I'm going to do this, but in return, if you guys believe in me and you have my back and you vote yes on this, I will make sure that I go at these short sellers and hedge funds and investigate short selling, dark pool selling, all of those things that's affecting our stocks. I will do that if you vote yes on these propositions. That is my word to you. Now you did something like that, that would be a lot more convincing than saying, "Oh well, we're getting shorted, and if we don't do something, we're gonna go under." I mean, where's your fighting spirit, man? Like you're supposed to be a 4D chess player. This is not 4D chess. You know, this is not 4D chess. This is not even that. This is a game of survival. Survival. That's what this is. And I believe what Adam Aaron and Adam Aaron, if you hear this video or somebody point this out to you, prove me wrong. Let me know. Let us know. Because we're out there wondering, and that's more dangerous to not give people a peace of mind and let them think for themselves. That's a lot more dangerous than getting out there, getting in front of it and saying, look, this is my plan. I plan to protect this stock. I plan to have your back. Like I said, I ride with you. What I mean by that is that I ride with you even in this. I feel like I'm one of the best, one of the biggest retailers in this stock. Well, I'm hurting too. And I'm about to do something about it. I'm not going to let them keep taking my money. That's how I would be. So I'm not going to keep this going too much longer. It's already a long video, but I just really wanted to touch bases on this and really like reach out and just because you know what Ignatius Will said, it made a lot of sense and it kind of made me feel like, oh, you know what? What if he is trying to milk this as long as he can to try to get as much as he can in profitability because he know at some point in time this stock is going to run and he's not going to be able to hold it back and nobody else is going to be able to hold it back because even with this tenth of these shares taken away, there's still probably billions of shares still left unaccounted for, even with this split. I believe, you know, and I can't prove this, but I believe that even with this split, they're still not out of the woods. And yes, they cannot let it run as high as it would get normally, but what are they gonna do? Old habits die hard. They're gonna short the stock again and still make these fake shares and fake shares. What's going to stop them from doing that? Who's going to stop them from doing that? The SEC's not. You're not trying to do anything, Adam Aaron. So who's going to stop this from reoccurring and becoming the same play all over again just a couple years later? Because that's what's going to happen. Like something needs to be done. And my message to you, Adam Aaron, is if you're a 4D chess player, stop talking about it, be about it, man. Put some fear into these hedge funds and short sellers. Put some fear in their heart because right now they're not caring about all of the talk you talk about how good of chess you play, and makes me wonder why. I'm not saying that you're in bed with them, but you're not really proving your case that you're not either. So I don't know what to believe, because in my lifetime, ever since I've grown up, and I've grown up poor, and I've grown up middle class, I have never seen the rich people gather around and really try to do something for the masses, for the common folk like me, or like the other apes that's in this program. I've never seen people do that. So I have a certain uh, precon- preconception, or I have a certain way of thinking about the elite and the rich because they have so much money and yet they still continue to steal from the poor. So how can I feel like you're for the people when you're not even doing anything to combat these leeches, these succubus in your stock? I just find it hard to believe because I'm not in your position, but I promise you this: if I was, I wouldn't let this shit happen. I would not allow this to go on, you know. But I'm not in your position, at least not at this point in time. But it's part of your job to make sure that your stock is not predatorily shorted. It's part of your job. I don't care what anyone says. That's not his job. Is to make sure the company. Well, if his company is being shorted, isn't his job to make sure the company become profitable? And by not doing anything, is impeding him becoming profitable, which goes against everything he's doing this for in the first place, right? Let's get to the root of the thing, you know. Anyway, with that, I'm out. I guarantee you. X Files, X Radio. Thank you for listening.